Big day today.
What is it today?
My birthday.
Happy
No.
birthday.
21st anniversary of 9/11. Or 11/9 as it's called in Australia, because we don't say 9/11.
Yeah.
Why is it such a big day? For happy reasons or sad reasons for
Honestly,
you?
for the longest time, happy reasons until I realized how much this situation messed up our visa processes.
Yeah. I was trying to think back, and like I was like, do I recall anything from that day? And I'm like,
Do you?
bits and pieces, yeah.
So how old? I was 6 years old.
I was like 8,
I was
7, 8,
5.
yeah.
I don't remember shit.
Yeah.
See, so I remember certain situations from that day, like the whole family is watching TV, 9
Isn't
a.m.
that
in the
every
morning.
night?
Nah, this was different. This was different. I
Yeah.
think this was a big commotion in Pakistan. Okay, I guess you were heavily involved, so it was
Yeah.
a big commotion. But this was a big thing in Pakistan. Whole family was sitting in the, not the kitchen room, the TV lounge area.
Yeah.
TV
Were they like
downstairs.
waving Pakistani flags and cheering
Nah,
and stuff?
everyone was crying. I'm like, what happened? And my auntie was like, you know, your grandfather.
I thought, bro, this guy.
Anyway,
being serious.
bro, I legit thought he was being serious, bro. Yeah.
No,
It was a somber day for some reason, yeah. Like it was just like shocking to see some like buildings just go down, bro. Like if you think back, like buildings just collapse on their own kind of thing. Or not on their own, something happened, but like, yeah, it was weird. I do recall certain things, like I was slightly older. So there was like some radio hosts that were like, they were doing the, you know, Howard Stern by any chance?
Yep.
He was doing a TV show. So they were showing like his radio show. They were just like showing the footage of him like saying things like as things were happening, because he could look out his window and see the towers like get hit and go down, right? So and then he just starts blaming everyone around the world. It's just like, nuke Pakistan, nuke Libya, nuke this, nuke Iraq, nuke Saudi Arabia if you have to. So people in America were like, obviously they thought they were like under attack,
Yeah.
which was rightly so.
Yeah.
And they were just like, okay, let's just declare all-out war against the world.
I think growing up, I was kind of proud of the fact that Pakistan had a contribution. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was all of us, bro. Honestly, like the whole classmates were happy, proud of the fact Islamic power.
Yeah.
We did some cool shit.
Bro,
Yeah.
you must have been a celebrity by extension of your grandfather.
Not really,
For a
bro.
while
He kept
there.
that quiet. He kept that quiet for a long time.
This is a big revelation of this episode.
But yeah,
How many people actually died on that
I
day?
think 2000 something.
yeah, 2000.
2000.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then
shit, I
after
didn't
it,
know
a
was that
lot of
high.
people died of like smoke inhalation and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah.
I think
Wow.
2000 was including everyone. Like there was.
Okay. I don't
all
know.
up.
I don't
That's
know
insane.
the stats, bro, on it.
I didn't know it was that high.
What do you think it was, bro? 2
I was
towers.
thinking
It's
like-
like hundreds of floors
Honestly, I was thinking like 50 or something.
in it. No, it was like the buildings itself had like 99,
I was-
100
I
floors.
was about to talk down to how significant the event was.
Yeah, but now you realize.
But I'll
And then a
shut
lot
up.
of people died in the planes as well. There was probably
Yeah.
hundreds of people in the planes.
Exactly, I know.
a lot of people died. That like event, like I didn't know Al Qaeda before that, but that kind of like it's like the biggest event to pull off. But that kind of put Al Qaeda on the map, and then it got me thinking: is Al Qaeda like pound for pound the number one terrorist group in the world?
I don't know.
No, I think
bro. don't
ISIS
know
is up
about
there
that.
too.
ISIS.
Because one of our friends recently said their revenues.
Look, at the end of the day, terrorist organizations are businesses, right? They
Yeah,
have
you can
they have
look at it that way.
revenue, they have
Yeah.
expenses, guns, kidnapping, ransoms, that sort of thing, right? It's a business. It's just a different kind of business, right? ISIS is the biggest corporation there is. 2 billion annual turnover. That's insane.
How? Like this
If
is.
They're
they
the
won
king
the
of the
stock,
game.
like because they get funded by every government there is probably.
Bro, let's talk.
Yeah.
Who's their CEO? Anyone know their CEO?
Baghdadi was, but he died. I don't know about after that.
Well,
yeah.
let's talk about Baghdadi because he was the one that revolutionized ISIS.
yeah.
Bro, to go from the traditional ancient guys in caves to modernizing ISIS and making online videos of beheadings, etc.
He was a content creator, bro. Really
He was
marketed himself well. Yeah.
Exactly. He
Yeah.
was the first terrorist content creator
Yeah.
there was.
So you think ISIS is like number one?
100%. Number
well,
one.
the
terrorist
fear that
organization.
they struck in the world as well, I think, puts them
Exactly,
up there.
bro.
Like, yeah, it's like,
And they had to follow up Al Qaeda.
yeah, it's like Mike Tyson in his prime,
See,
bro.
if I
That
had
was
to
ISIS.
support a terrorist group,
Yeah,
I would follow someone with ideology. Like Mexican cartels, they're doing nonsense. They're providing with drugs,
yeah,
deviant shit.
yeah,
ISIS is fighting for ideology. Retired it maybe,
yeah.
but there was something bigger than them. Like they didn't care about money, woman, yada yada. Cartels were just
Well,
being.
with 2 billion, bro, like that looks like they care about money. I just put Al Qaeda at the top because they pulled off the biggest news event in history, bro. Like no other terrorist
That's true.
organizations come up with anything.
If you had to give your top three like terrorist organizations or people, who would that be?
Al Qaeda, 100%.
Yeah. Mhm.
Second would be Taliban. because they probably kill the
General
most people.
menace, yeah.
General menace in the world. Third would be ISIS because they just.
Are you talking?
I gotta give a special shout out to the NZ guy though.
and
Like I was blown away by how educated that guy was. Like that manifesto was so well written and so well put together. I'm always baffled.
but the thing is, I don't rate lone wolf attacks, bro. Like,
See, so
Yeah.
I was gonna name my 3. All of them were lone wolves.
yeah,
Number 3 was Unabomber. I don't know if you know. of him.
Unabomber, yeah.
UNA.
was
It's
he?
same guy.
was
Yeah.
that-
Ted Krasinski.
That's not the Boston guy, is it?
no,
Boston
no.
Bomber.
That
No,
was
it's
Unabomber was like a lot of
American guy.
Yeah, American.
So
a
he
lot
was a
before.
good guy. He was Harvard grad, 160 IQ,
Harvard
graduate, Harvard professor.
Yeah,
And he was a bona fide genius, 160 on IQ test, which is
Yeah.
like genius level.
Yeah, online one or legit one?
A legit one.
yeah. He went to Harvard, bro.
He was
Legit.
a proper genius guy, and he was just delusional with society. And he used to
Holy
send in mail
shit.
bombs and kill people from education.
Holy shit, that's insane.
Imagine the
That's-
smartness of it.
That's
Like,
what I mean. Like some of these people are so educated, and somehow they get to this point where they develop these ideologies that are so like vengeful and hateful and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he had a
Like, it
reason too, because
baffles
he
me.
got tested on in uni as part of some kind of social experiment.
Mhm.
And this is where he started hating society in general.
I see.
So he was a very rational guy growing up, funny guy. His manifesto was something, I didn't read it, but it was,
it looks like you read it, bro.
yeah, it was pretty coherent. He had
Yeah.
he was against society in terms of like industrial revolution and everything that came onset of it.
Yeah.
My number 2 would be, so I went to my friend's wedding recently, and his dad had a sick mustache.
Oh my god.
And they kind of reminded me of Saddam Hussein.
No, but Saddam Hussein isn't a lone wolf. You were saying you only like lone wolf
No, I
people.
mean, Saddam Hussein, he stood for him. Like there
He
was,
was an icon.
he was icon. He represented his ideology. Like he was operating on his own choice.
Like he started the Gulf War against a lot of countries. Like you some bravery it took.
And I
to
saw
do
his
that.
last speech. So his last speech reminded me of some trashy white. Okay, no, I don't want to say white person, but
Yeah.
like no regrets.
It is what it is.
It is what
I
it
did-
is, and he
yeah,
was happy.
yeah.
Like this is so he's in his hearing for sentencing for all his crimes.
Yeah.
He says like no regrets.
For the sheer not giving a F mentality,
Yeah,
son loves
pretty
him.
much, like,
He was executed, right?
Yeah, he was
and
executed.
He had some last words.
No. He did when they were doing a trial on him. He was asked to come up and like stand trial, so he was in court.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, whatever I've done, I like it is what it is,
It is
kind of
what it
thing.
is.
Yeah.
So he has zero regrets.
Yeah.
Nothing. I was like, that's kind of cool.
That is
Yeah.
dope.
Who's first?
Number 1's Ramzi Yusuf. Now,
Bro, none of these are lone wolf. You just said you like lone wolf
bro,
people.
Ramzi Yusuf's story is crazy. Like, do you know how many times he's just like? So Ramzi Yusuf, for your information, is a local guy from Pakistan.
Was he Pakistani?
He's Pakistani, yes.
Ramzi
It
Yusuf isn't a very
sounds
Pakistani.
No, he
name.
doesn't.
Sounds like it.
Nah,
Yeah.
so he's from Pakistan. Like, he's in some menacing shit, like anti-American, like stuff against Filipino, Japanese people, which is something I kind of condone. But my point was like he did all this terrorist shit in name of Islam. He didn't know how to read Quran, and in Guantanamo Bay he became Christian. So all
that's
this
it,
for nothing, bro. Like,
So your list is based on purely what
Like-
gave you the most entertainment. The people who gave you the
you could
most
say so,
entertainment.
but like, yeah.
So Saddam Hussein, Ramzi Yusuf,
Saddam
and
Hussein, Mustache, Ramzi Yusuf just doing everything for Islam, becoming Christian. So that was like,
Bro, imagine that, man.
that's the biggest like flip in history, bro.
and he was friends with Unabomber in jail.
Was he?
They used to talk amongst each other.
That's like some what's that?
Mastermind.
No, Arkham Asylum. You know,
Asylum
like the
shit,
Joker
yeah.
and like
Sure.
the Riddler sitting next to each other. Yeah. What about you? The Australian guy that you wanted to bring up.
Wait,
The kid.
Jake Bildari or something? Biladi?
What's his real name?
Bro, you tell me.
Abu Abdullah Al Australi.
But you can tell like some like ISIS dude is like, yeah, we're gonna proclaim you that from now on. That's your new name. It's not something he picked himself.
Bro,
Yeah.
but that was I don't know how the hell this is a white kid from Victoria who flew across, I think, through Turkey and then Iraq, and then
And
for the purpose of joining ISIS.
Yeah.
And he joined ISIS and he fulfilled his mission.
What was his mission, bro? What was his mission?
His mission was to-
half fulfilled his
Yeah,
mission.
so his mission was to be a suicide bomber.
Yes.
And in particular, he wanted to be a car suicide bomber because he wanted to kill as many kuffars as he could, right?
In Iraq, so it
Yeah.
doesn't add up. Like,
Yeah.
it's a Muslim country.
Yeah.
He kills no one else apart from himself. So- but he was a Chelsea fan, so you gotta give him that.
Okay.
So I looked him up on
Yeah.
Google, and
Yeah.
his photo comes up in 0809 kit.
Yeah.
So that's kind
That
of cool.
reminds me. Remember we watched that movie Four Lions? When
Yeah.
the guy blows himself up. That's what it reminds me of. Like he was trying to do something noble in his mind and just ends up killing himself.
That was a nice movie, honestly.
Four Lions.
Four Lions,
I enjoyed
yes.
it.
Going back to why ISIS is so revolutionary is they managed to poach a white kid from Australia to join their cause.
See, I feel like this is going to be like a HSC thing. Back when I was in HSC, it was a belonging thing.
Yeah.
A team was belonging in English. But I think it was a belonging issue for this kid. He was outcast even in Australia, so it would have been easy picking.
Like a bikie gang could have given that same level, but ISIS
Affection
just stepped in and like.
But he had a thing for Muslims too.
No, because he
Like
had
girls
he
or
had,
like-
he had a
No, no.
political
Oh, okay.
like agenda. Like he was, bro. They allegedly found his Yahoo account. Like they never confirmed it, but I think they were pretty confident it was his. Like Yahoo Answers, and it started with like questions like, oh, you know, my teeth hurts. What should I do? Oh, you know, XYZ. What do I do? Like just innocent like questions like that. And slowly there was like some political questions like, oh, why is the US in Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And then, you know, what's this war about? What's that war about? Blah, blah, blah. And then it got to like, how do I get a passport or a visa to Iraq or something? Like that sort of thing. And
Okay.
it just
Bro,
slowly
Yahoo
progressed.
Answer is a cool
Bro,
thing.
like
this is
if
throwback, proper
you're trying to
throwback.
stalk someone and you find someone's Yahoo account, you could get a lot of information on them.
Because Yahoo
potentially.
Answers used to be the thing back in the day.
I don't know if it is anymore,
No,
but
I think Quora has replaced it now. How to kiss a girl? Yahoo Answers. Like, you know,
Right.
everything you search on Reddit now.
Yeah.
Like, everything I search, Reddit.
Used to be-
It used to be Yahoo
Yahoo
Answers.
Answers.
Another thing you had was terrorism has changed now. Like, what's the modern form of terrorism?
Yeah, well, we're kind of already talking about it. Like before, it used to be more like political agenda. Like people did it against like the Unabomber, for example. Like he had societal like level issues. Now it just seems like they just want to.
Make TikToks.
No. They want to be. They want to be like they just want to be like they just want to bring 4chan to like the real world. Like they just want to be doing like the craziest pull off like stunts.
Previously, terrorism had a noble form. Like, there was some kind of like.
It started with a political.
Intelligence
No,
involved.
it's killing kuffars, bro.
No. Like
No.
if you look at like who have now become terrorist groups, they all started with like we want to be freedom fighters to protect our country.
Yeah.
Now they're just like, oh, let's just kill whoever comes in our way, type of thing.
I think we don't have
think-
power enough anymore. Like, back in the day, they had Trojan horses. People, there was tactics involved. Now
Bro.
everyone's got a SMG.
It's a capitalistic society, bro. You got to earn more revenue. I told you, it's a business, brother.
Okay,
You got to
that makes
expand your
sense. So
organization.
you're thinking it's changed because it becomes
Bro,
like
why
more
do you
of a
think?
business.
Why do you think ISIS has a monopoly, bro? If there's a bomb in like Ukraine,
They claim it.
ISIS they're like, "Yup, that was us."
Yeah.
They have nothing to do with it, but
So it's just changed because the world has changed. Like terrorism
Exactly,
has changed
bro.
because the world
Exactly,
has changed.
bro.
Okay, that's fair
money
enough.
talks.
Like people who are older than us, they even say that was like the thing that changed the world in a way. Before that, like things like this would happen, but it wasn't at the scale that 9/11 was.
Because 9/11 kind of changed security game globally.
It changed everything. Have you
It
been to America? Both either of you?
No.
And
No,
Abob has, right?
No.
I thought you've been to America.
no, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard
Not just America. You go anywhere, bro. Like it's changed everything.
like
man.
as you know, like, you know, if you're an Arab guy or, you know, a Paki guy walking to the airport, you always get pulled over for those random bomb checks. And
Honestly, I've never been, to be
Oh.
honest.
I've been lucky,
I-
bro. I've never been pulled over. to be
really?
Have
honest,
you
yeah.
been?
I've been like 2 or 3 times now. I remember on a Melbourne trip.
You
I
do give off a CD vibe, to be honest, so
Thanks,
that could
bro.
be either or.
appreciate that, man.
Sure,
I
that's
appreciate
alright.
that.
Anyway.
If you dress in like sweats and stuff, like maybe they just stop you for that. Like it looks like a guy who
Bro,
doesn't have.
who doesn't dress in sweats for a flight, bro?
Never.
I'm dressing in something comfy as hell.
Maybe
it
trim
gets-
your beard.
It gets
a little bit.
cold.
Maybe trim your beard next time a little bit. But yeah, like it changed everything in terms of like the way the world operates. In terms of security,
Yeah.
everything was stepped up.
Yeah.
Now they're like a lot more careful. Before there wasn't much restrictions on like what could be shared online. In the 90s, bro, everything flew. Like people just shared everything on the internet because it was fairly new.
Yeah.
Now like there's like controls.
I
to
know,
an
bro.
extent.
Yeah, I felt a bit worried when I was googling before the podcast, like best terrorist organization. Like, I was like, shit, man, is ASIO gonna be?
No, but you go on there and then you find lists. So it's not like you're
I
not
saw
the only
same
one.
thing as you
Yeah.
did, but I couldn't find anything like, you know.
Bro, you just put
relevant.
Reddit in front of anything and
No,
there's a
this
list.
was nothing came up. Like no one.
I think you're being tracked, bro. I think that's the thing. They've restricted your internet. That's the reason. Have you heard like what's like the conspiracy theories that you guys have come across to 9/11 other than the memes like you know, jet fuel don't
There was
melt
a
steel.
small one that I came across recently, which was really interesting. Where you know how they buffed the international security and stuff in airports and things like that. I read that one of the companies that they used to push that all out, and obviously a shitload of money was put into it. One of the companies was owned by one of the defense ministers or retired defense minister or some
Donald
shit.
Rumsfeld. Yeah.
I don't know how you know this off the top of your
That's
head.
the dude. So
sure.
like, there was a thing like on the 10th of September, 2001, Donald Rumsfeld, he was like a defense contractor. Then he became part of the Bush administration.
Yeah.
They gave a speech where he said that, the defense, like we've looked at our books and our accounting, and somehow we can't keep, somehow we've lost track of $2.3 trillion in our books.
Holy shit.
And he just said it like nonchalantly in a way. And then people like started questions like, what do you mean you can't keep track of, like you lost track of $2.3 trillion?
Public money.
Yeah, like public money.
That's how much it cost them to hire Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, and that's what people were saying, that they use that money potentially to like, you know, put into it. But those like things have been debunked or like proven or whatever. But there's enough mystery around this situation that, you know, you could say that there was involvement by the US government.
The other thing I heard was COVID actually first started on September 11. They just used that to cover up.
Where'd you hear that? 4chan?
Internal sources.
Your health sector knowledge? Is that what got
group,
to you? Yeah. They had this thing where after 9/11 happened, the first person to make like a comedic joke about it was, he did it like 18 days after 9/11 happened. So his joke was like, I was trying to catch a flight from here to Los Angeles, or like I think it was LA or like some country, some city. And then they said like, but it had a stopover somewhere, which was the Empire State Building. So I didn't take it. So like he made that joke and everyone was like, bro, too soon. You shouldn't be making it, this, that, the other. Yeah. But it's like the most tragic event that's been like made fun of as well at the same time. Yeah. Yeah. And then Pete Davidson, you've heard of Pete Davidson, right? His dad actually died in 9/11. Bro, and he makes jokes about it. So like, it's kind of weird.
It's been a while though. He can make jokes about it now.
Well, at the same time, like if your dad died in a tragic event, you're not going to be joking
20
about
years
it.
is down the line. If I'm getting paid for it, bro.
If you're a comedian, yeah. Would you come on the podcast and make jokes about it? If you were getting paid?
If you're getting more than 30 or 40 views, then yeah for sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This kind of event makes people united too. Like, I was listening to Joe Rogan about 9/11 recently, and he's saying America united first time under one banner after a while. Like everyone, there were no Democrat, Republican, whatever. Yeah. Everyone just cared about the country. Yeah. But they need something new, bro.
They need something new.
Yeah. What you got in mind, bro?
Nothing, bro. I'm a pacifist.
Pick a date, because 9/11 sounds cool. So you have to pick it. Like you can't.
No, I think it wouldn't have been
2/27. Cool. That doesn't sound as cool.
True.
Okay. Hypothetically, Azio, if we were to commit a terrorist or a series of terrorists,
if it were to happen, if
there was another Abdullah Australi person, what would you do? Let's say you want to shock the world, what would you do? Or shock America? Let's focus on America.
Bro, my mind is going all over the place. So, like against a particular country?
Yeah, let's say America, and
this is not too far-fetched, because like, you know, they show this stuff in movies. My dad was watching some random movie the other day about like the US president getting like he gets abducted from London. London has fallen or whatever, and he's going to be beheaded on like TV. So they put this stuff in movies. So if we talk about it on the podcast, it's not that far-fetched. Asia shouldn't come after us. This is just like, you know, for humor, we're doing this. This is art that we're talking about. Yeah. So what would you do, son? Because you have this mind.
But you were saying before you do a series of small hits, right? Yeah. Rather than one big hit. But a series of small hits going to be remembered like 9/11.
Low-key, agree with you. But the thing is, like, series of small will allow me to continuously go under radar. Unabomber had 23 attacks before he got caught.
Yeah, but Unabomber had 160 IQ. You probably have like 15.
No. His IQ goes up when it comes to this like clever planning about like, you know, doing the random stuff.
No, but the thing is, if you do a lot of small ones, it's also possible that you'll screw up one and you'll get caught. Whereas if you do one big one, that's end game. Like all you have to do is do this one.
I trust myself to be smart enough to pull it. Like I like the longevity thing. I don't want to do one, be remembered for a month and then forgotten about.
I don't know, bro. Saddam Hussein
hasn't been forgotten yet.
Yeah, because it was such well planned. It wasn't just like some guy like kept 2 people hostage, like in Lynn Cafe or whatever.
Yeah, bro. You gotta believe in yourself, bro.
No, I like watching what's it called, like heist movies like Ocean's 11, 12, 13, where they plan everything out. Like this guy does this guy does that. I want a team of people we pull off something. That's my thing. That's my thing. I would want to do that.
Terrorist trash experience.
Trashy terrorist experience. That's a new logo, bro.
We do Abdullah simulator and
Kill ourselves, and that's it.
And no kills. No kills confirmed.
Well, we probably shouldn't be talking about this, but that we want to do it. Cut it out. Anything else?
Bro,
you want to talk about?
if we each get one person, we'll get a UAV after 3 kills.
Louis Spears had this joke.
I saw that. It was shit. I thought his was shit though.
No, but I said he had that similar joke, bro. He was talking about the Queen and like Philip and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I've seen people like be low key get roped into like the ISIS world in Australia.
Really?
Okay, so we used to go to the same mosque growing up.
That's one of the people I was thinking of. Yeah.
So was it and one of the guys was allegedly, I wouldn't say for sure because I wasn't really into the whole situation, but he was a sympathizer for ISIS or some other terrorist organization.
ISIS probably.
ISIS
yeah.
In Middle East.
You'll find a lot of sympathizers, to be honest. There were when ISIS was in his heyday, there was a lot of people that were sympathizing with them. Yeah, and it wasn't like it wasn't alarming when they said it because they had shown tendencies before.
What was it about? What was the philosophy that ISIS was saying? Was it like, oh, we're getting bombed, blah, blah, this is our retaliation to the West, or?
Sort of that. Mostly that, I think. And then secondly, it was just like we need to form like a caliphate. That was their biggest thing. Like I don't think so Al-Qaeda ever said anything about forming a caliphate and like we're going to be the new rulers of like the Islamic world. Yeah. But ISIS had that like we need to be a caliphate again and then this is how we're going to do it.
Still a thing or is it done now?
No, if America wants it to be, it will become a thing again. Like
right now, it's irrelevant.
No, it probably like
I haven't really heard much about terrorists at all.
The thing is, like, because the Ukraine and Russia is like the bigger thing at the moment. So Russia has become like the thing now. Eventually, when the world's mind, because I'm pretty sure terrorist attacks still happen. If they happen in Pakistan,
I got a theory on this. Yeah. China stopped ISIS, bro.
Yeah, go on.
ISIS doesn't have
they stopped supplying
vaccine,
them with,
bro. They got COVID.
True, bro.
Also, COVID stopped.
COVID stopped.
China by de facto they did. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if you guys have heard, but like I always see this like brought up on Reddit. So you guys might have seen it before, but I think it was in California or some shit. There was this California mosque. The CIA planted a guy, an informant, to try and figure out,
what kind of conversations going on.
No. If there was a terrorist within there, and he was like sort of pushing like as a result, like, oh hey, do you know anything about like terrorists or I hate the West. What should we do about it and stuff like that, right? And then he ended up getting reported to the CIA.
Was he a Muslim guy they put in?
Huh?
Was it a Muslim guy they put in?
It must have been.
Yeah.
I doubt they would put a white guy.
Like, did he like?
Well, obviously he didn't get anything because he was planted there.
Yeah.
But it was funny how the tables were turned.
So no. Like it was it that he became radicalized himself.
No, he didn't become radicalized.
Yeah.
He was just trying to find out. Like, for example, if I was tasked with finding out a terrorist organization in Sydney, I might go to a mosque and be like, hey, like, what do you guys want to do about the West? Like, like what's happening? Like, is there like any contacts? Trying to find a contact, basically, right? And this guy obviously poked into this mosque and prodded and whatever.
Oh, the mosque reported him.
Yeah, the mosque reported him.
I thought the other thing happened, like he became radicalized, bro.
No, so the mosque reported him, and the CIA was just like, oh shit.
Our cover's blown. Yeah. There was remember the shop in Auburn that we were talking about?
Yeah,
they were
that
like
bookstore.
There was just a front, and they were the ones that like they kind of kept to themselves. They didn't agree with like the rest of the popular Muslim community, or like the regulars that were in Auburn, and they just kind of did their own thing. They had their own prayers at separate times and whatever. And they got raided by ASIO at one point.
One of the guys went to jail because he whipped another guy for, I think it was...
Smoking. No, not smoking.
I think it was a non-Muslim that married a Muslim girl or some shit. Yeah. Some shit like that. And it's possible he cheated on her or something as well. I don't know. But like, there was some shit they whipped him with electrical cables. Yeah. And then he got jailed like
one guy came to
it's such a weird hill to die on.
One guy came to give a khutbah, Friday prayers once, and then 2 weeks later we found him getting arrested because he was wiring money to Syria. So it was a weird world back then when like ISIS was in its heyday. I don't know.
It's probably like it's probably still around and stuff. Probably just not as evident or not a new. It's not part of the news cycle now. I don't know.
Good thing for us, bro. The world is looking at us in a better light these days. So like, hopefully it continues.
You know when we had a Brisbane stabbing.
Yeah.
Stabbing?
The recent one, like
the recent one,
month ago.
the gun station. My first inclination was, is Muslim guys?
No, that still happens. Like whenever like a stabbing or like someone's being held hostage, I'm just like, okay,
is the guy Muslim
or not? So yeah.
It was like the first thing I wanted to know.
Yeah, we're kind of being indoctrinated.
I was kind of happy when it wasn't.
Yeah, it's so bad when it's not. Like when it's a white guy, I'm like, oh, phew, like that's a good thing.
And we're not even like worried about how many victims at that stage. We're just like, thank God it wasn't a Muslim guy, bro. Even if it's like slightly brown, I'm like, they'll make the tie-in somehow.
I'm very disappointed when we do silly shit and it doesn't come off either. Like the Lynn Cafe guy.
Yeah.
Like that was dumbass, bro. Yeah. Like if you're doing something cool, then like it makes sense. But like,
what was his? Like I don't even remember what his.
What was his end goal? Like
I don't know what it was about, to be honest.
So I think he would have.
He actually bombed the place as well, right?
No. Okay. They chucked grenades in or something. That's what exploded.
I think issue would have been the coffee prices, bro. Like
maybe it was
$5.50 in CBD right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been another episode of Trash Talk Experience. You can you can follow us on our Instagram and TikTok, and you can watch this on YouTube and listen to it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.